Hey folks, Shane Drake here. I'm your independent 2022 gubernatorial candidate. I got a lot of people come to my page and they say, hey, I love what you got to say. I love the $0 campaign. I love the principles. I love all of this stuff that you're talking about. But I want to see you go head to head against LePage in the primaries. Or I'll vote for you, but you got to run under the Republican Party. And then there's a lot of people come here and they say, I'm a Democrat, so I don't really align. I can't really put myself, I'm not gonna change my affiliation and all this other stuff. Let me just say, if you're part of the DNC versus GOP tribalism, then you've got Stockholm Syndrome. Because when you vote along party lines, that's you saying that you don't want to do the due diligence. You don't want to do that extra research on some individual candidate. You just want to have the big picture, the party, right? Well, let me just say that the big picture, the whole party thing, and voting for the party and thinking that that's going to fix things, it's not happening. It's not happening. And that's largely to do with the fact that the party's goals are the same. The establishment Republicans and the establishment Democrats want essentially the same thing. And it all has to do with this machine that we've created, this political process, this political machine. They want money, they want fundraising, they want to get reelected, they want campaign financing, and everything that they do, all of our elected officials and these party officials do, is to contribute towards that process. The rest of it, the voting, the bill writing, the signing, the this, that's all whatever. They'll just go through the motions for that stuff. But you think any of these people are actually going in and writing the bills? No, they just sign them. They have some intern, probably paid for by George Soros, writing the bills. And then he comes up to him and says, here you go, put your name at the bottom. That's how politics work. And all these people who think that the Republican Party is just going to suddenly fix things, they've never fixed things. Just because we got Trump, and Trump wasn't part of the establishment, yet he had the Republican moniker on his campaign, that doesn't make him a Republican, okay? It just means that he found the path of least resistance for his campaign. And my path of least resistance is one that gets people motivated and into politics. I want people to come to my campaign and look for the truth and find honesty and transparency wherever they can. Because if they do that with me, it means that they'll do it for the next candidate in the next position and the next da-da-da. But if I just go and I try to get into the system, that doesn't help anybody. What good? I don't want to spend 4 years in the Capitol with these people that I really don't like if we just keep voting the same way, because then I'll just have a bunch of people that won't work with me. So if you vote for me, you also need to do the due diligence and vote for other candidates who are independent patriots and have the well-being of the state in mind, not their campaigns, not their finances. The Democrats will go and they'll say, we're going to introduce 10 gun control measures. And we'll all get all upset about it, and we'll, write the NRA and all this other stuff and the ATF and everything like that. But what do the Republicans do? They'll go, oh, we got you folks. We got you folks. The first people will be up on Twitter. Someone will have pulled the GOP congressman or senator's strings, and they'll be up there saying, this is unconstitutional, da, da, da. They'll, rattle the cage. They'll get the media going on it. But the result is always the same. The Democrats want to pass 10, and the Republicans will say, whoo, we fought them. And they'll fight them, and they'll get 8 of them removed. And they'll say, see, folks, we got you. Oh, good job, GOP. They wanted to pass 10 gun control measures, but we made it so they could only pass 2. All right, let's take a recess. That's what these people do. Does that sound like a win for you? Because I'm pretty sure that 2 gun control measures is still a march in the wrong direction. The Democrats are pushing us towards this regressive future, this dystopian whatever world that they imagine that, workers of the world unite or whatever they want. And the Republicans are all on board with it. As long as they can still get their campaign financing or their fundraisers or keep their lobbyists happy, that's all they care about. They don't care that there's this death march towards for this country's freedoms and our liberties. They don't care about that. They only care that they're the ball and chain. They're the controlled opposition. As long as they put the brakes on the Democrat Party just enough so that Republicans don't grab our guns and start going crazy, then they're happy. They're happy because then they don't have to do their jobs. They have a lot to bitch and complain about on the media and Twitter and stuff like that and make it look like they're doing their jobs and be like, oh, the Democrats are so crazy. It's like, well, you're supposed to be the counter to the Democrats. If the Democrats put up 10 gun control measures, then you should be putting up 10 gun control, you should be pulling back on regulation. You should be taking away these limits on our freedoms and our liberties. You should be looking for, more limited government. Instead of finding new ways to spend our tax dollars and say, oh, the Democrats want to spend your tax dollars on this. That's absurd. We're going to spend your tax dollars on this. That's stupid. How about I get my tax dollars back? How about you stop taking my money and caring about only your campaign, I guess it's just frustrating for me, folks, because I got a lot of people who come to my page and they think they're Republicans, but they talk like independents. They say, I want to do this research, I want to do that. Well, guess what? If you vote for a party candidate, the only thing you're focused on is the party aspect of it. Does this party align with me? And then they say, here's your candidate. Vote for this candidate. You got to think for yourself, folks. We've got to start becoming educated voters and doing our due diligence, seeking truth, seeking honesty. I'm not saying that's me. I'm saying we've got to do it for everybody, though, holding these people accountable. How come all these conservatives that I know do exactly what the Democrats want? They bitch and they complain about the Democrats. Oh, all these university, they do blah, blah, blah. They don't know what the heck they're talking about. But yet then their kids grow up and they say, oh, get the vax so you can go to university. Wear the mask. Just wear the mask so you can go to university and then work in their corporations. What? I don't understand it. It's like we are like, man, the Democrat machine's terrible, but I'm going to groom my kids to go do the thing because establishment Republicans told me that's what's best for me in my future. We need to start thinking for ourselves. Don't just simply fall in line. Stand up, fight these measures. Let's fight back. They can't, like Rand Paul said, they can't arrest us all. And, if you want to become an informed voter and you want to stop getting divided along party lines, that makes you an independent. It doesn't make you a Republican. It makes you somebody who wants what's best. I can't charge $1,200 a plate for my opinions, okay? I'm just going to put them out there, and you can either agree with them or you won't. But the Republican Party is so out of touch right now. They just had this caucus or this dinner where they had these millionaire politicians fundraised off of Mainers that they know are about to hit an economic collapse. And then they used that money to lobby even richer people for money for their campaigns. You understand that? They charge $1,200 a plate for their opinion so that they can lobby the money from even richer people. That money doesn't come free of charge. And from the voters or the millionaires or billionaires or whoever they're lobbying for. So, I don't know. We got to start being more educated about what we do. To stop falling in line. If you hate the system, but you still abide by the system's rules, and you don't find ways to circumvent their measures, their control measures, their this, that, the other thing, then what you're saying is that you want to be part of the matrix. You just want to be part of the matrix under your own terms. I'm saying I want to remove people from the matrix and return to a country and a state that is more focused on individual liberty and creating a whole entire population of educated, informed, and capable people. Imagine if the state of Maine all came together and said, let's pull back from this cultural movement. Let's pull back from this establishment. Let's pull back from this media. And let's start focusing on what's best for us as Mainers, our future generations, our kids. I don't know. To start that kind of movement, you'd have to be an informed voter. You'd need to be educated. And you need to really do research on who you're voting for and not just choose whoever the parties tell you to. Doing the same thing over and over again, it's insanity. And if you think you're going to vote for the GOP or some Republican candidate and get progress in the other direction, that's never happened. That's never, ever, ever happened. The most Republicans ever do is that they get your tax dollars back, but they still spend it. They still follow the same rules. They're just controlled opposition. They're the ball and chain on the Democrats' ankle. And I don't know. I cut that chain. I'm done. I'm walking away. I'm forging my own path. And I think a lot of Mainers are waking up and trying to do that too. I hope that you check out my campaign. I hope that you like what I got to say. And, I'm not always right. That's the whole thing about it. When you don't have a manufactured, lab-made or establishment-made position or policy, then you're not always going to be right. So take it easy, folks. Shane Drake, Independent, 2022, Maine. We got this.